Now at 6:30, 2 people are charged after stealing a farmer's cattle in Polk County, Missouri. Plus, cars and planes gather in Joplin for a Wings and Wheels show, and JOMO Pride lights up downtown Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A rancher in Polk County, Missouri is getting justice after his cattle were stolen. This is KOAM News at 6:30. I'm Anthony Saviello. 2 people are charged with the theft. Photojournalist Ethan Harrison caught up with the farmer about being deceived by the couple.
He was supposed to take them to Wyoming to finish out a load to a ranch in Wyoming, and then they were supposed to got their money within 10 to 12 days, and well, apparently they didn't make it to Wyoming.
He called me directly on my cell phone and said he thought he had been in some trouble, that he might have some cows come up missing.
You know, when I called the sheriff's department out, they actually met me on the site, the job site, and within 2 hours that we had him arrested. I'd actually called the guy and asked him to meet me at a restaurant for lunch, and I didn't make the meeting, but he did. I feel relieved that he's off the street. You know, I had no idea that he was this person. He was very good at his job. I mean, he was a manipulator, and he was very good at it, and it's just very, it's disturbing that somebody would go to that low to make $1. You know.
I'm happy to say we've already handed him his money back on the cattle because, you know, for one, I want to, you know, the people of Polk County know we take cattle theft seriously in Polk County, and we investigate it thoroughly, and we try to get it solved quickly. And 2, I want the people to know that if they think about stealing cows in Polk County, that we're going to continue to do this, and we're going to investigate it thoroughly, and we're going to do our best to put them in jail if they do.
The 2 people who have been arrested in connection with the theft of the cattle are Melvin Fincher and Annetta Tyndall. Fincher is charged with stealing livestock and tampering with witness. He's being held on a $100,000 cash or surety bond with an additional $15,000 cash-only bond. Tyndall is charged with stealing of $750 or more. She is being held on a $25,000 cash bond. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures today were nearly 10 to 15 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday. We got up to the mid-70s today with our overnight low, still dropping down to the low 50s. So this is still 10 degrees below average. We are going to see that starting to change as we warm up. We also are not really expecting any rain chances for an extended period of time. Now this is because we've got our high pressure system that starts to push in from our southwest. We could see a couple isolated storms popping up there Monday afternoon, but really we're going to stay completely dry through most of the week. And we've got that high sitting right on top of us by midweek that sticks around through the weekend. Now that's going to be due to that's going to be caused dry weather and our warm up temperatures, but I'll have those coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, as we approach September 11th, organizations in our area are gathering to honor those who lost their lives and those who stood together after tragedy struck. The Carthage VFW hosted a Patriots Day remembrance event today with special guest speaker Mayor David Flanagan. Folks were able to eat food, listen to live music, and engage in activities.
Remembering the veterans, okay, remembering Patriots Day and what the country went through, and especially for those of us who are members of the VFW who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, you know, in response to the terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers.
This year marks 24 years since the attack on the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001. Well, planes and cars hit the tarmac at the old Joplin Airport Terminal for a Wings and Wheels show. Over 150 cars competed for first place in 16 different categories. A fly-in with planes coming from all over was also held. Funds from the event are split between VFW Post 5293, the Freedom of Flight Museum, and our Veterans First.
People have come out and said they are having the best time. I've got to meet a lot of veterans. I've got to hear a lot of stories, and I've got to thank a lot of veterans, and I think that that's probably my favorite thing of all.
The Freedom of Flight Museum was also open for tours during this time. JOMO Pride Fest is this weekend. Events kicked off yesterday and go through tomorrow. Events today included a street festival with vendors and guest performers like David Hernandez from American Idol. Events also included a drag show and glow party.
We are just people who love and accept people for who they are, and having the community come together and be together and show love and acceptance is very important.
Events continue into tomorrow with a free Pride breakfast and Pride in the Park. Coming up, ever thought about living in a Cold War missile silo? Well, you can for the right price. Plus, some bad news for the United States dollar. A Cold War era missile silo is up for sale in Kansas and could be yours, but it's going to cost you more than $1 million. Zach Summers takes a look at the unique property and its history.
Hidden beneath the rolling hills of central Kansas,
it's an insane property.
Is a property steeped in mystery.
It's very much off the grid.
And rich in Cold War history.
So this room is called the entrapment zone.
Once designed to fend off a nuclear attack, this decommissioned Atlas F missile silo is now for sale.
My favorite feature is probably either the missile silo itself. I also think that this is really cool, just going through a tunnel, and it almost seems like you're on a mission.
Tara Martin is the listing agent for the 8.5-acre property in Lincoln. The asking price, $1.3 million.
The equivalent to what they built it for in today's dollars is now $190 million.
Step inside the underground fortress and there's a noticeable drop in temperature.
It ranges from 54 to 62 degrees consistently.
Inside, 2,500 square feet of usable space in what was once a control room and living quarters, all of which have been freshly painted.
Over in this area, there was a kitchen, bedrooms, and everything was walled off.
Behind this 2-ton carbon steel door is the real showstopper of this property, an 18-story missile silo. Still left behind are the brackets that held up the flooring surrounding the missile.
40 feet up, 140 feet down. A dream for thrill seekers. A nightmare for anyone afraid of heights.
You could do a man cave, you could grow mushrooms, it could be a wine cellar. It's a very specific type of buyer, somebody that just has a lot of imagination.
And perhaps a liking to history.
This is actually one of the original doors.
Built in the early 1960s as a response to Soviet nuclear threats, the Atlas F was the most advanced in the U.S. Air Force's arsenal at the time. It stood vertically, armed with a warhead more than 250 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
Nominally, it was supposed to take about 15 minutes after a launch command was received for it to be ready to launch.
John Gilbert is a retired Air Force colonel who worked in a similar Kansas facility in the 60s.
It was isolated. It was noisy. Things tended to smell bad. It was not a real pleasant place.
The Lincoln site was one of 12 in Kansas alone, chosen for its inland location, yet close enough to reach targets in the Soviet Union.
And another reason, there was a lot of vacant land where people didn't live.
To buyers, Colonel Gilbert says,
they'll end up owning a unicorn.
A Cold War relic turned conversation piece with a future as bold as its past.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, in my opinion.
A total of 72 Atlas Fs were built across the country. The Lincoln silo was decommissioned in 1965. Well, the dollar broadly weakened yesterday amid signs of a slowing economy. A drop of 0.7% in the dollar index represents its lowest level in over a month. The index measures the U.S. dollar strength against 6 major foreign currencies. The weakening comes after new government data showed job growth slowed to a crawl last month. The unemployment rate also rose to its highest level in nearly 4 years. The softer job data reinforced expectations that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates later this month. Fed rates cuts can lower Treasury yields, which could make the bonds less appealing for global investors As a result, that could lead to less demand for dollars. A little later, Pitt State Volleyball takes on Southern Arkansas.
Go ahead and take a look at our temperature trend. We're going to see temperatures were much warmer today than we got yesterday. Friday afternoon, we were only up to the upper to mid 60s. Now today we are in the mid to even upper 70s. Now right now out downtown, or excuse me, 7th and Rangeline in Joplin, mid 70s. We're about 74 degrees, but clear skies. Now those skies are going to continue to be clear all weekend long, even into next week. Actually, for the extended forecast, it's going to be beautiful for the next couple of days. And you can see downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, just blue skies, beautiful outside, and you can't beat mid 70s. Today we were several degrees below average, about 10 degrees for our low and for our high. Normally we would be sitting in the mid to upper 80s, but we are going to get back to that over the next couple of days. We already start to see our warm-up trend starting Sunday, upper 70s, low 80s. And then we get into the low 80s Monday and Tuesday, even mid 80s by Tuesday. But those temperatures continue to warm up throughout the week. We get a high pressure system that sits on top of us. So we have this gradual warm up, and this starts again Sunday. But by Monday afternoon, 82 in Joplin, Girard, 81 in Parsons, mid 70, upper 70s, Yates Center, Iola, Fredonia. But most of us are going to be in the 80s by Monday. Tuesday, we're going to be in the mid 80s for most of us. 85 in Joplin, 84 in Baxter Springs, 83 Yates Center, Fredonia, not too bad out there, but 86 in Lockwood and Stockton. Wednesday, we just get continually warmer. 87 in Carthage, Lamar, 87 in Lockwood, 86 in the Joplin area, 85 in Pittsburgh. Now Thursday is when we're finally hitting the 90s. We're going to be 90 in Joplin, Baxter Springs, 89 still in Pittsburgh, 87 up in Iola, Independence, 91 out there in Grove and Veneta, 92 Carthage, Lockwood. So we definitely are going to see these much warmer temperatures. We also could see a chance for a couple pop-up storms there on Monday. We start to see some clouds rolling in Monday afternoon, early afternoon. Random showers want to push through just to our far western counties, not really making it any farther than that. And this is between 3 to 6 p.m. After that, we have a second round coming in late Monday night into Tuesday. A dying storm complex in central Kansas tries to make its way into our area, so we want to make a watch out for that. Out in southeastern Kansas, could make it all the way to Caney, maybe even Yates Center, Fredonia, but most of us are going to stay dry because it does die down before it hits our area. So I've only got about a 10% chance for any rain on Monday, but you can see the rest of the week, mostly sunny skies. Again, temperatures in the 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, back into the 90s by Thursday. That's above average for this time of year. And that extended forecast, that's showing our little return to summer before we start to see some cooler temperatures.
To be fair, you warned us about it. You said it was going to come back.
Yeah, fall. It was a little too early for fall. Now I'm ready for fall, just like everybody else.
I think everyone is.
But we do have a little summer to get through left.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Still ahead, Missouri Southern battling Southwest Baptist in their first road game of the season. Sports reporter Ben McLeish will look at the film from Week 1. And Pitt State volleyball season is underway with the Gorilla Classic. Highlights from this afternoon's matchup up next.
It may be football season here in the 4 states, but it's never too early for athletes to put pen to paper and secure their future. On Friday, one Riverton girls basketball player signed to continue her career on the court. Ellie Helms made it official, signing her national letter of intent to advance her basketball career at Benedictine College. Family and friends joined her to celebrate the achievement with emotions running high, and Helms described the day as bittersweet.
I felt like it was a great atmosphere. I felt like family. I've never felt so wanted somewhere, or welcomed is a better word for it. When I walked on campus, I just felt like it was home. I'm feeling excitement for the next 4 years, but I'm kind of sad because I'm leaving all my best friends, and I'm just not ready for it.
Pitt State volleyball season began on Friday with the Gorilla Classic. And after playing 2 matches yesterday, Pitt State battling Southern Arkansas and Truman State today. Gorillas going 1-1 to open the tournament yesterday, opening today with the Mole Riders. Early first set, PSU trailing and going on the attack going to the middle with Danya Kosi, who brings the boom, securing the point with this thunderous spike. And that would start a run for the Gorillas. On the very next point, this time they go to the outside, finding Malia Johnson, and she will hammer this one home for the kill. But Johnson wasn't done there, doing it all for Pitt State, now turning it on with defense, turning that defense into offense with this block. Gorillas now in control off the Southern Arkansas serve. PSU finds outside hitter Addison Redmond, and the freshman keeps the good times rolling with a kill of her own as Pitt State cruises in this one, defeating the Mole Riders in 4 sets. Their second matchup getting underway soon against the Bulldogs. Missouri Southern is looking for their first 2-0 start to a season since 2013 as they battle Southwest Baptist on the road tonight. Prior to kickoff, KOAM sports reporter Ben McLeish looked at the tape from freshman quarterback Tillman Martin last week as he gets ready to take the field for his second collegiate start.
The Lions coming off their first season opening win since 2013. How'd they do it? Let's go to the tape. This guy right here, freshman QB Tillman Martin. His first collegiate drive, clean pocket, fires it to Draper Parker down to the 2-yard line. A couple of drives later, clean pocket again for Martin. This time he launches it to Parker again, but in the end zone for the score, his first passing touchdown as a Lion. But let's go to a 2-minute drill. This time he's got a little pressure. He rolls out to the sidelines, fires it to Aiden Robinson-Wayne on the sideline. The Lions would kick a field goal on that huge 2-minute drill, and that's why head coach Atiba Bradley chose Martin, not just for his arm, but his mobility. He can extend plays and open up the Lion offense. Southern will rely on Martin to, again, hold his composure, take what he can get, and extend plays with his legs.
Lions currently leading 21-3 in the second quarter, but Pitt State, they're gearing up for kickoff against Central Oklahoma at the top of the hour with sights set on a bounce-back win. Gorillas fell in their season opener last week to top-ranked Ferris State on the road. And as the game progressed a week ago, the play from transfer quarterback Jackson Berry stood out, with his composure and ability to lead the offense really standing out to the team. Heading into tonight's matchup, the team expects Berry to take a step forward with his connection with receivers. He looks to make his second start in the Crimson and Gold a memorable one. For the first time in 14 years, Kansas and Missouri clashed in the latest chapter of the historic border war rivalry. Jayhawks got out to a 21-6 lead in the first quarter, but the Tigers took a 28-24 lead into the final 15 minutes. KU, though, they would get a lead in those final 15 minutes before Mizzou scored the game's final 14 unanswered points to get a 42-31 win. Tigers outscoring the Jayhawks 36-10 in the final 3 quarters.
Ryan, we watched that game kind of develop and everything. What kind of stood out to you about Mizzou's kind of, ability to close out the game?
Bo Pribula, the transfer from Penn State, he looked really good. Not just throwing the ball, but his ability to use his legs. He's a threat, and I think that was a really nice pickup for the Tigers in the transfer portal.
Perfect. And what can we look forward to later tonight?
Tonight, we've got some highlights from Missouri Southern. We'll have some scores from other games as well. So a lot going on, especially those highlights from the Lions.
Perfect. We'll be right back. Well, today is a great day to curl up with a good book because today is National Read a Book Day, observed every year on September 6th. This comes about a month after the nation celebrated National Book Lovers Day on August 9th. The 2 days may sound very similar, but National Read a Book Day specifically encourages us to pick up a book and we might like and spend the day with it. So what's the latest book you've read? A dictionary.
The Bible.
The Bible. Well, that's a good book to curl up with and everything.
Yeah, probably the latest book I've been reading.
I said dictionary because I need to work
on your words.
I really need to work on my words. I can barely get them out.
I do too. My sister once suggested to download a Word of the Day app so I could expand on my word knowledge.
There you go. Well, what's the weather of the day?
Yeah, who needs words? Let's talk about the weather. We're going to have a potential for an isolated storm or two Monday afternoon, but really over the next week, we're just looking at our consistent warm-up, mid to upper 70s, even low 80s on Sunday, and then 80s to 90s throughout the rest of the week.
It's summer's still here.
It is. It's returning. Here, so. It's not quite done yet, so we got a little bit to go.
Just a little bit more time. That's our time for now. We're right back here at 10. Have a great night.